Excellencies, on behalf of UNICEF, the United Nations Children's Fund, I am honored to be speaking to you all today on the most critical topic that should be at the heart of every discussion and agreement taking place at this historic summit of the three basins. The impact of biodiversity loss, environmental degradation, and climate crisis on the millions of children and families living in Amazonas, Congo Basin, Borneo, and the greater Mekong River region. Every discussion these days is directly linked to children and young people's well-being and to their fundamental rights: the right to survival and development, the right to education, to a safe home, the right to clean water, the right to clean air or healthy food. Because the climate crisis is a child rights crisis. This is why, last September, the Committee of the Rights of the Child Voila. I hope you could follow. If not, I will try to. No. Thank you so much for the technicians for fixing the problem so fast. Thank you. So let me explain why the climate crisis is a child rights crisis and why every discussion these days is directly linked to children and young people's well-being and to their fundamental rights: the right to survival and development, the right to education, to a safe home, the right to clean water, the right to clean air, or to healthy food. Very importantly, last September, the Committee of the Rights of the Child issued a legal and policy guidance to all governments. It was the General Comment 26 on children's rights and the environment, with a special focus on climate change. In this general comment, it declared that children's right to a clean, healthy, and sustainable environment should be mainstreamed across all decisions and measures to preserve biodiversity, protect the environment, and combat climate change. 196 countries signed the Convention on the Rights of the Child, the most ratified convention in history. Every country present here signed the convention. And now you all have the guidance and the opportunity to put the best interest of the child at the center of any new national policy aiming to comply with the Paris Agreement and with the most important global conventions on biodiversity. But we all know that we are very far from achieving that. Only half of the NDCs are child-sensitive. Only 2.4% of climate funding goes to investments protecting children. No COP outcome ever mentioned or prioritized investment and protection of children and young people, despite being the most vulnerable and worst impacted by the environmental and climate crisis. But UNICEF has hope that the outcome of this summit will put humans first, will put children first. At the end, that is what matters to the children, young people, and citizens in all your countries, who are looking to the leaders in this room to take the right decisions, to protect their forests and their livelihoods, to protect their children, their families, and their communities. Few days before COP28, this summit can lead the way and commit to a range of crucial measures that can shield the most vulnerable members of our communities, indigenous population, girls, children with disabilities, from the worst impact of biodiversity loss and environmental degradation. First and foremost, we must embrace climate-resilient policies for the health of the forests, but also for the health of our children. We must invest in the adaptation of the vital social services that children depend upon: water, sanitation, health, nutrition, education, social protection. They cannot remain invisible in the climate finance architecture. We must invest in climate education and the preparation of younger generations on the green skills they need to live in this new world. The climate crisis is changing the planet, and it is changing our children as well in a very deep way. But we will not be able to do any of that unless we significantly increase financing, not only for energy, not only for infrastructure, but also financing to support the communities suffering the immediate impact of biodiversity loss, environmental degradation, and climate change. Global promises must be honored to transform the climate finance governance and to increase climate financing for adaptation and for loss and damage, prioritizing social services for most vulnerable communities and investing in education and green skills for the younger generations. Count on UNICEF to roll its sleeves and work closely with all of you all along the way. But also count on the brilliant young people in each of your countries that keep reminding us, nothing for us without us. Here in Brazzaville today, dozens of young climate advocates from the 3 basin regions are experiencing in their daily lives the worst impact of the problems we are discussing. They are not waiting for others to solve their problems. They are taking action. They want to be part of the solution, to get a seat at the negotiation table and to be heard. They are well prepared and ready to be part of the discussions, ready to be part of the implementation of the next steps after this summit, to move from commitments to real improvement in their real lives. Again, nothing about them without them. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, UN colleagues, we can and must seize together the urgency of the bold and ambitious transformation that the 3 Basin Summit is proposing to the world weeks before COP28. For our planet and for every child and young person living in Amazonas, Congo Basin, Borneo, and Mekong region. Thank you.